Keep Loving Me was one of those songs that I did towards the end of the album. It was one of the last songs that I did. And at first it wasn't going to make the album. But my brother, Veracity the Truth, who's also featured on the album, he really advocated and pushed for that song. And so it's because of him that the song even made the album and it actually became the first single. And I'm glad I listened because it got, it was well received by people. And I think it really reflected the entire project. It really did. My Bae Bae, in terms of lyrical content, it started off to be a breakup song, but then I discovered that I had enough of those on the album, so I had to change it, and I ended up switching it to a love song. And a lot of the parts in that song was still about me kind of like exploring things that I was maybe insecure about but wanted to get over. Smooth is basically about being involved with someone and you have a no nonsense type of vibe going on and you don't really have time for any other nonsense that people or things is bringing to your life. So you're basically like, I'm going to be smooth about it today. I'm going to, chill out, do what I need to do for me, and not worry about it. I'm just going to be smooth. It was actually done maybe 3 times before I decided on the final version. I had other rappers that originally was in the song, but I felt like I wanted to feature them on something else on the album because it would fit their vibe a little bit better. And so SCHOLLAR was over listening to the project when I was trying to decide what my first single would be, and he just played around and started rapping to it. And I was like, that's actually pretty good. So we recorded it just for fun and it ended up being for real, and he made the project. I think Drop the Mic is my anthem for the year. It's basically, that's how I'm going to start approaching life. I don't have the time to go back and forth with you. I'm just going to say what I have to say. You do what you will with it, and I'm be done. Drop the Mic features Ray. Originally, Veracity the Truth, who's featured on Hallelujah, was supposed to be on Drop the Mic. But he felt like it didn't fit his vibe the way he wanted it. So I ended up moving him to Hallelujah, which I felt like he would have ripped, which he did. So then I put Ray on Drop the Mic because I knew at that point instantly he would fit that vibe and where I was going with that particular song. I knew that I wanted to work with Ray on something on the album. I just didn't know what at that point. And Drop the Mic came together like magic. And so when he put his verse on, I was like, that's it. That's what I was looking for. That he gave me the complete sound to complete the song the way it needed to be. Drop the Mic, that's kind of self-explanatory. FIYAH. FIYAH is about initially meeting someone. You're out at a party or a club or something and someone walks into the room that immediately gets your attention. So that song kind of talks about that and the process and how you're kind of shy, you don't really know what to say, so you're trying to be sly about, you're being coy about trying to get to know this person, but you actually made your move and it worked out in your favor. FIYAH was one of those things where I really wanted to step outside of the box and try to give a different sound. It was one of the first songs that I actually wrote and recorded for the project. And it took a different side of me to kind of really put myself into it. And it's a very emotional type song, and it kind of builds. It starts, very mellow, and coy, and then it builds up to, bigger vocals. And of course, there's still changes like that I would make. Any artist would make changes, to a lot of their stuff if they could. But I think it turned out okay. X-rated. Okay, so X-rated, I really don't know how X-rated came about. I was going through ideas when I was writing for the project, and I was writing down song titles that I kind of probably wanted to try to gather content about. And X-rated was just one of those things where I was just like, that should be a good song title, so I should write, a song based off of that. And when I heard the track, I instantly knew that was the track for X-rated. It was giving me the feel, the sound, everything that I needed for that particular song. And the melody of the song just instantly hit me, and I was like, that's it. So it really came together very authentically. I didn't have to put much energy and much work into composing that or it coming together. The hardest part to X-rated was probably the bridge. I redid that maybe 3 times before I went with the final version. When I originally did the first one, it just wasn't giving me what I needed for that particular part, because there's so many arrangements and stuff going on at that section, so it had to be right. And so I redid a lot of parts for the hook. Sorry, the verse, the bridge. I can't even get this right. No, but I did it, and the 3rd time, and I was like, okay. And I listened to it in the car, and I was like, okay, that's it. Like, this is what I needed. But it took a minute, but I got it there. Hallelujah. Good old Hallelujah. Now, I'm really hoping that Hallelujah doesn't cause controversy. Because I grew up in the church, and my family are church-going folks, so they probably gonna hear that song and thinking it's a gospel song, and I'm like, no, that ain't what it is, family. That ain't what it is. Hallelujah was an instant title that I came up with. That once I heard the track, when I heard the track, it sounded like it's an organ, so it sounded like church to me. So I was like, I need to make this title Hallelujah. I didn't know what I was going to actually talk about, but I just was like, I know that's going to be the title. But when I started writing the lyrics for Hallelujah, they just came together authentically, and it may end up being a controversial song. But look, don't y'all come judging me. I know there's a lot of church folk out there that's going to think it's about something godly, and to know it's not a gospel song. But honestly, it's not a bad song if you think about it. I mean, yes, it can have sexual lyrics or sexual content, but y'all church folks be doing stuff too. I'm just saying. Yes, it kind of has sexual content to a certain extent, but it's really about the person and really being thankful and grateful for have found that person. So you're saying hallelujah, I'm thanking the Lord for sending me the person. So if you exclude all the other things and go to the core of what the song is about, it's really about finding this person and thanking God or the Lord for that. Veracity, the Truth, is actually my blood brother, and he was, as I mentioned before, he was going to be on Drop the Mic, but I moved him to Hallelujah. And when he sent it back, I instantly knew that was the song for him to be on. He just basically ripped it and did what I know he could do. So he gave me his vibe, and it just came together very well. He can be a perfectionist just like I can, so we of course had a lot of back and forth. And he wanted to change the verse, and I'm telling him like, no, the verse is fine, like leave it alone. But he wanted to continue to change it, and I was just like, we are so much alike that it's kind of strange. So Veracity and I really grew closer as brothers with this particular project, because He was doing his thing musically, I was doing mine, and we had never done anything officially together. And so I'm pretty sure this made our mom proud and our dad. Lord rest his soul. But it was good because it really brought us together and we bonded like never before. And so he's been one of the biggest supporters of this project from day one. And so I definitely have to thank him because we really came together and put something good together, and so something that my mom and our parents can be proud of. Soulmate is kind of like self-explanatory. You know, now you're at the point where you've met this person and you have discovered that you love the person and they basically seem like your soulmate, like they seem perfect for you. So it's basically self-explanatory. It was a song that I thought that I wasn't going to keep, but I had a few people that was advocating for it. And I'm glad that I did keep it because it actually turned out better than I thought it would, in terms of me liking certain things about it. So once I completed it and added everything that it needed, it gave me what I needed for the song. So I was like, okay, I'm glad I did keep it. Stacks is basically about you had this person, you thought they were the one, they messed up, and now you're just like, I'm over it. Like I've had enough, you know, with relationships. I put my best foot forward and I keep getting the same thing. So now I'm just going to focus on me. I want to focus on building my money and my stacks and building my own self up and not worry about love anymore. On to the next is kind of a continuation to Stacks. On to the next is basically like, okay, I've decided that I'm going to focus on me now, so I'm going to be on to the next. That can be on to the next relationship, on to the next thing in your life, on to the next project, whatever you feel like you need to move on to. The next is kind of funny to me because a lot of the lyrics was intended to be funny, and as I was writing it, I would laugh because it was just, you know, one of those things where it's been a while since we had a male to really go in, you know, about a breakup. And so I was like, it's probably time for me to come back with something like that. I wanted to get something that was fun, but at the same time, still relatable. You basically messed up and it's time to move on.